This is the Barbados Today evening news for Wednesday, September 27. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. International ratings agency Standard & Poor's issues another downgrade of the Barbados economy, lowering the long-term local currency rating to CCC from CCC+. S&P is raising a red flag about the country's high fiscal deficit and falling international reserves. It warns these two issues threaten the stability of the Barbados dollar, which is currently pegged to the U.S. currency 2-to-1, and it increases the risk of a balance of payment crisis. The New York-based agency is cautioning that the island's creditworthiness is vulnerable and is dependent upon favorable business, financial and economic conditions to meet its financial commitments. S&P says it could revise the negative outlook to stable over the next 12 months, but says the government will have to balance its fiscal budget, halt the slide in international reserves, and strengthen its external liquidity. In other news, this Wednesday, the president of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Eddie Abed, today urged government to get serious about enforcing strict building codes in light of the devastation in neighboring Caribbean countries from recent hurricanes. He's also proposing that home insurance becomes mandatory for house owners. Addressing the BCCI's monthly luncheon this afternoon, Abed said while Barbados has been spared so far this hurricane season, it might not be so lucky in future, and the time for decisive action is now.
Sadly, the level of destruction was so austere, albeit these countries were struck by Category 5 hurricane, that the poorly constructed buildings were no match for nature's fury. Surely, when the average homeowner does not insure his property, it is incumbent on regional governments to ensure that the quality of construction meets a mandated building code. Equally, if there is not an enforced building code, then there should be a national requirement that all properties are to be insured so as to mitigate the downside risk when major hurricanes strike.
To the law courts, a 54-year-old prison officer facing several drug charges was released on $3,000 bail today. It is alleged that Robin Wesley Wiltshire of Coach Hill St. John had in his possession $1,314 worth of cannabis, which was intended for traffic and supply on September 26. The warden was not required to plead to the charge, which was read by Magistrate Douglas Frederick in the No. 1 District A Magistrates Court, since the offence allegedly occurred in the District C jurisdiction. There was no objection to bail, and Wiltshire will make his next court appearance in the District C Magistrates Court on October 19. Police are searching for a missing elderly man. 70-year-old Michael Ford of Arch Hall, St. Thomas, was last seen by his brother yesterday morning around 6:45. At the time, he was wearing a blue short-sleeve buttoned shirt with a white and brown plaid shorts. Ford, who has a brown complexion, is 5 feet 3 inches tall. He is slim, has no front teeth, and speaks with a deep voice. He's also pleasant-mannered. Anyone with information on Ford's whereabouts is asked to contact the District D Police Station at 419-1729, Police Emergency Number 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477, or the nearest police station. Staff at the state-owned Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation remain off the job. Just after 11 this morning, upset workers gathered in the car park of the Pine facility to express their dissatisfaction with the company's handling of outstanding increments dating back to November 2012. Sources tell Barbados Today that some unionized workers at the top who were expecting the outstanding payments to be added to their salaries this month were disappointed when they received their pay packs. Barbados Today understands that it was agreed that all employees would receive the increments. Up to last night, CBC management, the Barbados Workers Union and Labour Minister Dr. Esther Bayer-Suku held talks on the matter, but there was no resolution. Today, BWU representatives met with the disgruntled workers, but they declined to give details. The union has, however, promised to issue a statement. Don't abandon the disabled. That's the plea from the opposition parliamentarian and advocate for the disabled community, Edmund Hinkson. He's chastising government for failing to fulfill its promise to introduce the disability legislation, which he says is critical. Hinkson was speaking on the sidelines of the presentation of a $2,500 financial donation to the Barbados Association of the Blind and Deaf at Clement Payne Memorial Center today.
I am completely this government, which had promised disability legislation since 2009, when Minister Sinclair was Minister of Social Care, up to today, has not found it fit to pass, enact, and to have proclaimed disability legislation in this country. I laid in Parliament on the 15th of March 2014 a private member's resolution calling for such legislation, which ultimately would have enacted into Barbados law the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which Barbados signed in 2007 under the then Oinapa administration, and which Barbados in fact ratified 1 week after the last election, February 29, 2013.
To sports now, and we go to cricket. Despite an unbeaten century by Trinidadian Evan Lewis and a 5-wicket haul by Alzari Joseph, West Indies lost the 4th Royal ODI today at the Oval, losing the 3-match series to England. Sent in to bat, Windies' order collapsed early on 33 for 3, but was rescued by 2 excellent batting displays from Lewis and skipper Jason Holder, which propelled the visitors to a total of 356 for 5. In reply, England were on 258 for 5, 6 runs better than the Windies at that stage before the rains came down and play was abandoned. England won the match by 6 runs thanks to the Duckworth-Lewis method.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Good morning, Phillips & Company, may I help? Oh, certainly. One moment, please. Miss Phillips?
Yeah?
There's a lady on the line from the Nation newspaper who would like to speak with you.
The Nation? Will she go on?
Well, they're trying to sell us some ads.
Look, don't make me laugh this morning. Ads in the Nation? They're real expensive, and for one year, nobody ain't buying them papers no more. Nobody ain't want to steal news. I hear reading Barbados Today online for free. So I tell she thanks for calling, but no thanks. We just advertising Barbados Today, families. Tell she is Barbados Today all the way.
Okay, I'll pass on the message. Ma'am, are you still there? Oh, she put it down.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. The Bahamas is opening its doors to Dominican families who wish to relocate in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Bahamian Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has also announced that Dominican students will be accommodated at schools in Nassau. We get more in this report from the Guardian News Network.
Following an appeal from Dominican Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit for international assistance after his small Caribbean country was devastated by Hurricane Maria, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis pledged to accept Dominican students and other Dominicans with families living in the Bahamas.
There would have been a lot of children that would have been displaced, and therefore we're opening our school system to accommodate them. And our immigration minister would deal with that matter so that they can be placed within our school system. And of course, I plead to Bahamians, especially with Dominican roots and Bahamians in general, to assist even to accommodate these individuals in the private schools.
Skerrit thanks the government for coming to his country's aid.
This will certainly help a number of families in my country.
And on the international scene, good news for Saudi women may be bad news for the country's chauffeurs. Saudi Arabia announced yesterday that it will lift a ban on women driving by June 2018. This will, however, likely slash the demand for personal drivers who are often employed to drive women to work. According to the latest official data, 1.4 million men work as drivers for private households. That's 1 for every 23 Saudis, and most of them come from South Asia. Saudi officials hope that the money women save on drivers, on average $1,000 a month, will remain in the local economy rather than being sent as remittances to other countries. And that's news this evening. You can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and on Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Have a good evening.